Welcome to the skin I'm in, being body positive. We're going to talk about body positivity with some of my favorite people, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves, starting with Sky.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Sky Wynn. I'm a photographer, content creator, storyteller. I've had the pleasure of working with all these beautiful people on the panel, shooting cosplay. And I work in television and I make stuff. So I'm here to tell you a little bit more about my perspective on body positivity. I hope you enjoy it.
Awesome. And Royalty Cosplay.
Hi everybody, I'm Royalty Cosplay. By day, I'm a scientist, and at night, I feel like I'm a superhero. Cosplay is my thing, it's my passion. Also, I've been able to have the pleasure to work with everyone on this panel too, incorporating body positivity into our cosplay photo shoots and into our everyday lives.
That's beautiful. And now DarchAngelDavid.
Hi, I'm DarchAngelDavid. I'm a 2D, 3D artist. I do fabrications for armors and props. I make statues, and I own a company called Shatter Images, LLC.
Awesome. Mr. Dean's List.
Hey, hello everybody. I am Walter Dean of Dean's List. I am a costume and apparel designer. Started out as a cosplayer, and I have a lot of experience and skills I'd like to share with you. I look forward to doing that.
Okay, and last but not least, Miss Superfit with Cosplay. How are you?
Hey guys, I'm Superfit with Cosplay. During the day, I am an accounting manager, and at night, I guess, I do the fitness thing. So I combine cosplay and fitness all in one. Superfit with Cosplay. That's it.
She ended that. She dropped the mic. That was a mic drop right there. All right, so today we're going to talk about being body positive. And I did a lot of research on this, and I know you guys have a lot of knowledge. So according to Nora Whelan, because I wanted to use her description, body positivity is a movement to unlearn the idea that only certain bodies are worth acceptance and praise, and instead recognizing that all bodies are equally valuable. And I totally agree with that. So my first question for all of you is, how important is it to be body positive as an individual and for others?
I can start that off. I think body positivity is important for everybody, no matter what your age is, no matter what your race is, no matter what country you're from. I think really first loving yourself and feeling good about yourself is going to literally affect everyone and anything that you come into contact to, whether or contact with, whether it be your family or friends or jobs or even hobbies like cosplay. The way you feel about yourself, you give that energy off, and people respond to that energy, and it kind of teaches, if we're feeling good about ourselves, we can also teach other people how to feel good about us too and how to treat us well.
That is a really good point. I used to talk to people when I was younger because I was a dancer, and I used to love this young lady. She came in and she didn't have a six pack, but it didn't matter. When I tell you, she put on her crop top and she came in and she danced her butt off, and she has so much charisma and energy that everybody around her just felt good about themselves. So we can also argue that having a strong body positive image helps others feel good about themselves and be around you. So on the flip side though, because you answered about yourself and that's great, let's talk about how being body positive and standing up for others is a plus as well. Because I think that's needed.
I'll mess with that one. People have to learn to have more empathy too, because when you approach a situation and if you're judgmental to somebody, you can mess with their esteem. And it's important to understand that everybody feeling good about themselves, it works for the community. It helps build things up. So if you put it out there and you're accepting of others and you understand that others go through different points in life, as far as how they look, how they feel about themselves, and you try to put a more positive spin on it and make everyone feel good and feel included, it can build up, and it builds up to a better whole for all people. So you go out there and you let people know that we're not going to exclude you because you don't fit a certain motif. or I'm not going to exclude myself because I don't feel like I fit a certain motif. And you end up with a really good picture of society. So it is very important to include everybody and make everybody feel welcome. You know, when you do that, everybody's uplifted.
Okay, so with that, because I work in the film industry, television and film, and I believe in definitely showcasing everyone. But I have to admit that sometimes the things that I work on, the people that I work with, it dictates that I pick this certain look, this certain style, this certain frame. So I just wanted to ask, is it hard? I know we talk about being body positive, and I think most of us are on here, but is it hard making sure we're inclusive in everything? Because for me, I can't lie. Sometimes I'm so swayed to the left that I'm like, oh my God, I need this to come in and this to come in and make it balanced, because I'm so stuck on what the usual casting is. So for you, do you find it difficult sometimes when you're putting together photo shoots, when you're working on stuff, that you have to be mindful of that and actually check yourself?
Well, as far as you're concerned with speaking about that, you don't have a lot of control over that in that industry. You have higher ups that will dictate what you have to produce and what they're willing to spend their money on. So unfortunately, you can't really bring that into that arena a lot of the times. But for what we deal with, it's about our personal lives and what we do outside of work and what other people control. So we get to control how we react and respond to certain things.
Okay.
It would be nice if in the entertainment industry, they looked at everyone as being equals. We know that's not true. We know that they have particular roles that they want people to fit in. And if they don't fit in that, then they're not going to get that job. I don't personally think that will ever change because they're trying to control the narrative and the way people view things. And you control that in every aspect, in what's said and what's seen.
Okay.
So unfortunately, in the industry, I don't think we have much control. We can do much about that, but we can do things about that when what we set up for ourselves. Like you speak about photo shoots. We
Yes.
control photo shoots at conventions. You can make sure that a photo shoot is open to everybody. You know, you don't lock down somebody because of their weight. You don't lock down somebody because of their skin complexion. You don't lock down somebody because of their religion. You just accept everybody and let everybody come in and enjoy themselves as fans and have a good time.
That's true. All right, so let's lower the veil, because I definitely have some image things that I'm dealing with that I had to overcome, and I'm constantly in front of the camera. When I was younger, I had a TV show, and I looked at it immediately and compared myself to what I wanted to look like, which I don't even know what that is right now. So I had issues with myself. So I want everybody to, if they can remember overcoming a image or a self-image or an issue about themselves that they can talk about, I'll start. I have a big forehead. So I had to learn how to make that forehead work. And thank God Tyra Banks came out with her big forehead. And so we could just be 5 heads together, and she threw it to the camera. So actually, you know, I learned to, when I was taking pictures, I used to have a lot of hair. I had bangs hanging down just to try to conceal it. But then when I looked at some stuff, I'm just gonna put my forehead to the camera and own it. I mean, it captures the light. I think it's getting some light right now, but it's okay. So for you guys, you know, starting with you, Ree, is there anything that you had to overcome? And I want everybody to say this because I want everybody to unveil something. So we'll start with you.
Well, I mean, I'm still working on me. I still have body image issues within myself that I'm constantly working on. So I think for me, it's always been probably just, well, in high school, I was high school skinny, but afterwards I kind of picked up some weight. You've seen some of my pictures and you were like, whoa, that's you. But yeah, so I guess the weight thing is something I've always been working on. I, you know, struggle with like yo-yo dieting. I tried every diet pill out there, and I finally had to get to a point where I'm comfortable with me and comfortable with my weight and, you know, just comfortable with my size. I'm not going to be 110 pounds again, like I was in high school, you know? So, and then luckily for me, thick became the thing. And I'm like, oh snap, I got a big butt, big thighs. I fit the mold, so I'm good.
Right.
Good.
So
yes.
yeah, I'm always working on me. I'm constantly just trying to get down in weight and everything. And it's not a good thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but right now, since I've combined fitness and cosplay together, I'm focusing on healthy more so than, oh my God, I got to meet this number on the scale. And that's very important, you know, because a lot of women struggle with that still.
Yeah. And men. Don't leave them
And men. Absolutely. So yeah.
All right. Dean's List.
I have to say that for most of my life, I was skinny. I was like super skinny and had a hard time. I couldn't even gain weight if I wanted to.
Good for you.
But then I reached a certain age. So like the year that Young Justice came out, I was like, ooh, I have to be Aqualad. But then that was like the year that my body just changed its mind. So I had gained more weight than I had ever gained before. I gained like 30 pounds. By the time I got to Dragon Con, I was like 30 pounds over my regular regular Dragon Con weight. But I was just like, you know, I'm still doing this costume. So I went out there in my my Accolade, my spandex, and that's where I was. So that's what I presented. And I had a great time regardless. This was something that was completely new to me before. I had never been this size at Dragon Con before, but I took that and ran with it, and I still had a great time.
Good.
You know, even my new body.
Your new body.
All right, Royalty.
So I have to work a lot harder now to maintain my weight, but that's just what happens as you get older.
Absolutely.
But you don't want that to deter you from whatever your goals
Absolutely.
are. You know.
Okay, that sounds good. Royalty.
Actually, ironically, my story is really similar to Walter Dean's. Yeah, so growing up for me, I was always underweight, like medically underweight. It was just how my metabolism was. So I actually didn't start gaining weight until my 30s. So for me, being younger, a lot of the guys would be like, oh my God, like I'll never forget this one story when I was in high school. This guy came up to me and he was just like, oh my God, you are so skinny. Like you have a pretty face, but you're so skinny. Like you're not going to probably be dateable until you're at least 25 when you put on some weight.
Wow.
Wow.
Nobody told you that.
Wow.
And so of course, you know, the basketball team was there and everybody was laughing and stuff. And for me, like, I was just like so humiliated because I'm like, this is my body. Like, this is the body I was given. At that time, I was like, I didn't diet or anything. I was just living my best life, or at least trying. So it actually really was kind of damaging for me. Sometimes the words that people say actually are really powerful and they do take effect. So I had a complex about how skinny I was actually for a long time. And there was a period where I even tried really hard to gain weight just so that people wouldn't make fun of me for being so skinny. But also kind of similar to what Super Fit with Ree said, once I got a little older and my metabolism did start changing, then she got thick. Because then at that time, it was like acceptable to be thick. And it was like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think at any point in my cosplay experience, I had any issues or anything with anybody trying to make fun of me because of my weight or because of my shape. I think for me internally, what I still struggle with is as you get older, whether it's you putting on your freshman 15 in college or around college age, or your body's metabolism just starts slowing down, it's really important to, I think, understand that your body is going to change and that change is beautiful and it's okay. Because I think we live in a society that really kind of obsesses over being skinny or looking a certain way or having certain curves in certain places. But at the same time, I'm just like, no, I think we should kind of reimagine that thought process and say, our bodies are, understand early and teach younger people, especially early, that your body is going to change. That change is going to happen no matter what you do, no matter, even if you try to have plastic surgery, whatever, you're still going to change as a human. But that change and that evolution can be beautiful. And even in the cosplay world, I mean, it can actually make some of the cosplays look better, in my opinion. So
Awesome. All right, Sky, we know this is something that you really, really take to heart. You do tutorials, you do panels, everything. So let's hear if you had some self-conscious body issues and, you know, things that you've done to overcome them.
Yeah, I have and I still do. I'll start with this. I'm a Southern boy, so being skinny was never a good thing. Let's start there. Today, I was just at a friend's house not a couple days ago, and the first thing her mom said to me, "Ooh, you look skinny. You been eating?" I said, "Who are you talking to?" I'm sorry. Check your your tone with me. But my hair was always a big thing. Especially, I mean, I had a big afro. I still do. Got a ponytail, but you know, I had a big afro, and I wanted a big afro even as a small kid, and that wasn't in style. That wasn't clean cut. So the hair issues, the hair journey situation has always been a thing for me. And the size has always been a thing for me. I was an athlete. I played football, basketball. So you want to talk about being in a high school team, knowing you're good, but the coach don't want to put you in because he put you too little. You know, that kind of stuff was a thing. It wasn't really until I got to college that I started to really embrace my body a little bit more. And that was mostly through art as a photographer, having to do my first nude shoot for a class. And what it really taught me as I started looking through art was like, you can look at your body differently. You know, when you think about like the great, you know, we call them the Italian masters, the Leonardo da Vinci's, the Michelangelo's, they didn't look at people and say, oh, they're big, they're little. They looked at them and they said, oh, this is a beautiful person. I want to sculpt them. I want to paint them. And I took that approach to my work and to my art. And this is where I actually want to disagree a little bit with David as far as what happens in entertainment. Yeah, for a long time, and it still exists, there's these gatekeepers, there are these people that tell you, we want this, and this is what we're going to do for a show. This is the only look we like. But as we're able to, one, get in the room to change that narrative, and two, as we're able to make more and more content in spaces that aren't just the traditional television mediums, it gives us more latitude and more space to say that this is valuable. And that these people need to be heard, these people need to be seen. And we're seeing a lot of that in, you know, the LGBT communities. We're seeing a lot of that with Black and other minorities. And I think it's extremely important that we understand that this shame-based culture that we come from starts when we're little. It starts with our religion. It starts with what we see as the society. You think about like, and I don't want to put down anyone's religion, but I'll talk about my situation. You know, you think about the good Southern parents who are God-fearing, going to church. They'll tell you everything is wrong with your body. Oh my God, put that on. You're showing too much. Oh my God, you're showing too little. They will make you feel like you're less than early on because of what, quote unquote, the religion or what the conservative society they live in. And we have to start there. Start with our children and letting them know that it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to be in your body and be comfortable with who you are. Mm-hmm. You're not going to stop changing, as y'all said, until you die. So from the time you're little until the time you go back in the ground, your body's going to consistently change. So there's no way that you're going to be the you were 5 minutes ago. You're not going to be the you were 10 minutes ago or 10 years ago. You just have to be your best you today. That's what's important.
Nice, very nice.
Well said.
That was well said. And David?
All right, well, with me, I think one of the biggest things that I had to deal with was cutting my hair. Believe it or not, for years and years, most of my life, I had big hair. You know, nice hairline. I had dreads all the way down to my butt. You know, took care of my hair myself, and you always worry about that. You know, I know a lot of dudes constantly think about when their hairline recedes, you know, and how they're perceived in society if they lose their hair, especially with Black people, man. We get that hairline, man. You go to the barbershop and you get that thing just perfect, you know, perfect geometry when you come out of there. And I had to come to terms when I reached a certain age and, you know, certain stresses in my life, and I saw the hairline receding, and I was like, oh my God, you know, I could keep trying to rock this, and then I look like Stevie Wonder, you know. But he doesn't know how he looks, so he doesn't really care.
Oh wow.
But I'm looking in the mirror and I'm just like, yeah, man, I don't feel like getting clown, and this is only going to get worse. So
Yeah.
it took me a minute to finally make the decision to cut my hair. And then, of course, after doing that, being perceived as that dude with all the hair all the time, you know, I was worried about how I would look and how people thought I would look, you know, when they saw me without the hair. You know, am I me in people's eyes? And heck, even when I did it, you know, for years, people didn't recognize me. Turn around, it's like, oh my God, did you really? That's you? When did you cut your hair? It's like, it's been 4 years. How you not know?
I remember that transition. You had hair like all the way down, all the way down. So seeing you without it and walking in, I actually thought you had on a bald cap.
Oh wow.
But that was my first thought, because I'm like, that was just so much gorgeous hair, those locks. So I was like, well, I know he didn't cut it off, but I'm like, how do you get the bald cap to look so good?
Now, mind you, I used to have to resort to all kinds of craziness to hide my hair as a costumer, man. You know, I wear a lot of masks, prosthetics, and helmets and stuff like that. So it was a pain, believe it or not, having all the hair being a costumer. So my life did get a whole lot easier when I cut it. I ain't have to worry about, you know, figuring out where the hair was going to go as the illusion, you know, to trick people.
That's
So,
awesome.
it had an upside, but even to this day, when I look in the mirror, sometimes I wonder, it's like, man, how much better would I look right now if I still had my hair and it didn't, you know, fall back on me like it was about to.
Well, the good thing is you can always throw on a wig if you're feeling nostalgia.
Yeah, you can do that.
That's the
Yes,
best.
I'm
Okay,
with
so
you on that.
what I love. Okay, ahead, Scott.
Like my hair falling out, I'm like praying it stays for as long as I can keep it. I'm like, with your locks, man, I would have tried out the Shaolin monk joint where you just.
Oh yeah. Well, see, that's the Stevie Wonder though. If you look at his hair, he looked like a Shaolin monk. Yeah. Yeah, his thing is like all the way back here now. It's like the whole top is bald. My man looked like if the Jeffersons, George, if he had long hair.
I'm sorry.
Stevie, we love you. Stevie, we love you.
Stevie's a legend, exactly.
Yeah, we do love
Stevie.
Stevie.
So my question is, one thing that you guys were saying, or a couple of things that you guys were saying, I love that you were bringing up different issues. A lot of people, unfortunately, when we say body positivity, they immediately think of weight. They think of people who are up thicker and more voluptuous, but it's so many other things, you know, busty, your feet size, your hairline. And I want to definitely make sure that's a part of the conversation, not with you guys, because you guys brought it, but going forward, because people seem to migrate to that one little corner and it's just disruptive. But now that you did a great segue for me with body positivity, let's apply that to cosplay. A lot of people want to do cosplay. A lot of people don't feel like things are made for them, which they're not. Sometimes you go to the store, it's not made in your size. It's not made with your shirt. Some of us are busty. Some of us are flatter chest, bigger shoulders, bigger butts, different things going on. So Dean's List, I definitely want to talk to you since you do commissions and you design. And also you, David, do you take that into consideration? Do you work with people? And what is that conversation like when you work with someone who has curves or no curves or a big old foot or a big forehead like me and I need a mask? What's the conversation that you have with those people, and how do you help them overcome their body insecurities?
Well, I think first thing is I'm gonna say hashtag cosplay your way, so you can decide how you wanted to you can decide how you want to handle your particular situation. If you're like, yeah, I'm thick and I'm just gonna front all of this, then that's your decision too. If you decide I'm a little thicker than I want to be and I want to try to camouflage that, you know, you could do things like, you know, wear extra layers, like, you know, a lot of costumes you can choose to have coats and such, you know, to hide things, or even with spandex, you can do things that kind of pull your body in. if you like, you know, you can do extra layers of spandex. You can make sure that you're using things like lining and interfacing to kind of pull things in. But like I said, with you know, keeping in mind cosplay your way, you know, you decide how you want to handle that. You can pull things in if you want to, or you can just own it and stick with the body positive thing. You know, like I said, that year I literally gained like 30 pounds in like 3 months, and I was still have that weight on when I got to DragonCon. And I mean, my Aqualad is spandex. There was no way to hide it or, you know, pull it in or anything, but I owned that, and I decided I was going to be comfortable with my body and not let that deter me from what I was there to do. So
what you're talking about a little bit more is another movement that has been on the board, is body neutrality. Is that the right word? Okay. So body neutrality is where you are neutral, where you're not necessarily super body positive, but you're not hating on yourself as well, which I think is a good space to be in, because as you all talked about evolving, and our bodies are changing like every, what do you say, Sky, 5 minutes or whatever. We just, you know, we can't do what we did yesterday. I sure can't do what I did before COVID. I mean.
Listen, that's real talk. This COVID 20, that's a real thing.
Oh, you only had 20? I'm doing COVID 35. I got cheated. So it's a thing that I definitely want to bring up, because although I feel like we're not telling people not to feel what you feel. I mean, you could desire what you desire. What we are saying, and what I am urging, is that everyone on earth was not built for you. So if you only like muscle boys, if you only like really slim girls, slim boys, whatever, that's you. Do not put somebody down because they are not that. Because that person wasn't built just to come and please whatever your desire is. But at the same time, have your desire, right?
Yes.
So let's speak more about that. Like, people coming in with their thoughts and processes and what they think somebody should look like, when it's like, I think it's the easiest thing to say, oh, you know what? Toya's pretty, but she's not for me. But I do like so-and-so. There's no need for me to come down on you.
Mm-hmm.
So have you guys had scenarios like that, or had to help people through scenarios like that? Anyone?
Well, when we make stuff for people, right, the first thing that I tell people out the gate is that this is about fandom, and that fandom doesn't come in any particular shape, size, or creed. You can be a fan of something and love something and represent it as a cosplayer without having to fit that artistic image that was there when the character was created. Let's be real. Almost nobody in the world really looks like Superman. Even if you have the muscles, you may not have the same size, or have the actual hair, or have the complexion. But that doesn't mean don't do it if you want to do it. If you're coming in as a cosplayer, man, just remember you're a fan. If you like it and you want to do it your way. Enjoy the time that you spend in the costume. Okay. If you, like Walter Dean said, if you do want to go and you want to try and change your body to fit that thing, that's on you. But it's not mandatory to do something like that. Now, what is mandatory is to be realistic with yourself. Let's say when I make things, there can't be a lot of adjustments in post, because these things are fabricated. If you, let's say, try to tell yourself, oh, well, I'm going to be this size by that time, because you want to change yourself because you're trying to look more like the thing that's over there. There's no guarantee in that. So you have to come in realistically and tell me, what are you? I have to do measurements. So let's say you want to come in and you want to be a character that has armaments on that person. You have to do that to your actual measurements. And you have to be okay with who you are for me to get those measurements from you, or to go and you do the measurements for you myself. And if the numbers aren't what you like, then you have to work on you to understand that you are fine as you are. You know, as long as you're healthy and you're waking up every morning and you're happy with yourself, you're doing good, That's cool. We're going to build your costume. You're going to get out there and you're going to have a good time.
Look at that.
You
David
know?
had to put all my business out there. I think that whole story was about me.
No, it's not you. We've gone through several iterations with this with people. Like I have people that don't want to talk about the size of their head. Let's say I'm making a helmet. And it's like, well, man, we have to have realistic measurements.
That's true.
Yeah.
It has to fit your face.
I
So
want to
if
ask
you
a
have
question too. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no. So if you have a long chin, a long jaw, you don't want, it may look a little different than the way it looks in the comics or the movies, because we have to build it to your particular size so that you can get it on and wear it comfortably. I've worked with things with Dean's List in the past where we have people that will give us, fictional ideas of what they want to be and not work with as they are. And then when the thing comes, it doesn't work. It doesn't fit. And we have to tell them, well, now all this stuff has to be done again. So you have to be realistic with who you are, and you have to love yourself.
Okay. So how do we feel about, or what's our stance on body augmentation? Some people get things done. The bigger butt, bigger breasts, I've seen muscle implants, different things.
Mhm.
Is that an ally of body positivity, or do you think it's working against body positivity, or just what are your thoughts on it in general? Of course, we're not telling anybody not to do what they want to do with their bodies, but how do you think that plays into the whole body positivity movement?
I'll take that.
Okay.
So I look at that firstly and say, take concern with your health first. Before you look at anything cosmetic, how is this going to adjust or affect your health in any ways? And take that into consideration first. Now, after that, if there are things that you want to change or things that you need help with or that you're just unhappy with, then sure, you can look at getting an augmentation. As an example, you're too busty and you need a reduction because it's hurting your back and it will be more comfortable. Get the reduction. There's nothing wrong with that, you feel like you want to be more balanced. I mean, there are just certain things that I feel like you could do if you wanted to get augmented, but understand that your health comes first over your appearance. Secondly, if it is something that is just appearance-based, like, let's look at what the medium is. I think when we see things and we've seen this, the extremes of situations are never healthy either. So not necessarily going to the extreme of an augmentation if you're going to go that way, but looking at what is going to be healthy and balanced for you. Don't do it for other people. Do it for yourself.
Yes.
Right?
Say that again.
Yeah.
Don't do it for other people. Do it for yourself. That is the most important. But, and when it comes to certain things, like, I'll use weight as an example. I'm never going to be 200 pounds. Like, it's not going to happen. I mean, it might, but that's going to be so much work on my body to even get there. I'm never going to be Schwarzenegger in his prime. So be the best you. Do the work so that you can be the best you if you want to physically build more fit or gain a little bit of weight or whatever that is. We all go through many augmentations just in how we choose to diet, not diet, how we choose to exercise, not exercise. Again, these are things that are going to constantly, sporadically change. So just be aware of what your goals are and actually work towards your goals. And if you need help, find people who are going to be healthy with you as you move on that journey. And that goes into people who are, again, I like to always try to include LGBT or transitioning people, because they're people that are going through augmentations.
Yes.
You do this for yourself, fine, but don't let someone tell you what you need to look like.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And they're not for you. They're for what they want.
Exactly. Perfect. Wonderful. I love that you said all of that. And I wanted to bring up another point, because one of the augmentations, and I'm calling it an augmentation, that I see that we accept from everybody is getting their teeth fixed or getting stuff done in their mouth. And that's another body positive issue that people have because their teeth are not lined up or not white or something. But that's one of the things over the course of my life that I didn't see anybody push back on if somebody gets their teeth adjusted and fixed. And that's interesting that there's certain parts of the body augmentation spectrum that we're okay with and others we just have issues with. But that also brought me to another point I want to ask you, Ree. A lot of us get on this, I'm going to fast for cons. I'm going to, you know, not eat. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that so I can fit into this costume for cons. So I just wanted to get from your perspective, since you deal with health and fitness, is that something we should do, shouldn't do? Or what are your thoughts on fasting for a con just to fit in a costume?
Okay. Thank you for calling me out. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Okay, so, oh God, when I started cosplaying back in 2008, 2009, I just put on the costume, you know, I was Rogue, I was Chun-Li, yada, yada, yada. And then I got to con and I saw people who were like fit and muscular and this, that, and that. And I'm not gonna lie, I was like, oh my God, for my next costume, I wanna look like this. And that's how I started out, you know, like I was like, okay, I need to diet down because I gotta get in the spandex. You know, Vixen, that's yellow, that's unforgiving. I was like, the stomach need to be on point, blah, blah, blah. And then as I grew as a person and I, you know, like my mom and everything having cancer and all this other stuff right here, I kind of had to change my mindset from dieting down to get into a freaking cosplay to I need to just be physically fit and healthy and do cardio for my heart health and just to be healthy in general. So yes, I did start out with, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm being honest, I started out with every cosplay season, about 6 to 12 weeks in, your girl was like, you know, chicken, broccoli, brown rice, blah, 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 you know, working out 6-7 days a week, da, 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 da. And then like Super Fit with Ree cosplay transition from, okay, I don't need to be that girl. This, you know, this is not a healthy mindset. Just dieting down to get into cosplay, it's not a healthy mindset. And I was realistic enough to realize something is wrong with that mindset. You need, when you're dieting down and trying to lose weight, it needs to be because it's for you and it's to be healthy overall.
Yes, yes. Yeah, we were on some yo-yos. I'm not going to speak for everybody. I say you
yeah,
and
I know I was.
We were doing some yo-yos.
I was
like,
that girl.
Eat. Oh my God,
yeah.
It's 2 months to Dragon Con. We need to lose.
It's time to, it's time to cut it. So now,
we pig out as soon as Dragon Con
it's
is
so
over.
funny because people are talking about the COVID-19 pounds and blah, blah, blah. And as I was bragging to you the other day, your girl has been losing weight because I'm just being honest. I've been eating healthy, I guess about 90% of the time, and about 10% on the weekends. I have a meal of whatever I want or whatever. So I have a really good balance right now. So I am still losing weight and I'm building muscle and all this other stuff right here, but I'm not doing it to get into a con or a cosplay because it's 2020 and 2020 is trash right now. We don't have any cons.
I think this year changed a lot of people's direction and mentality because they have to do it for themselves. So I know we're actually getting close to the end of time. Oh, go ahead, Sky.
Yeah, on that, like I don't actually believe in diet lifestyle. I believe in changing your lifestyle. So
well, yeah, absolutely.
You know, we as a culture like to, I mean, we're talking about cosplay, but think about getting ready for summer. Think about beach body situation. Like all these are sort of that same perpetuation. It's like if you look at something that you're maybe unhappy with and you change your lifestyle so that, oh, it's not a diet, it's just how I live every day.
Exactly.
Know that, okay, I know I didn't do what I was supposed to do this week. I need to do better next week. But it's more of affecting your lifestyle so that it becomes more healthy and you're able to be more towards the body you want to be in if you're not in the body you want to be in.
Awesome. All right. You guys said some great stuff. You guys said some amazing things. So we're getting to the end, believe it or not, so quickly. I love talking to you all.
Oh, wow.
I just want everyone to kind of talk about what you have done or are doing to support, promote body positivity. Like for me, I have the Cos Noir shoot yearly, and I make sure everyone comes in and gets treated like the superstar he or she is. It doesn't matter if you're super skinny, if you're voluptuous, if you have a big 5 head like me. We want to make sure that you are killing the game. You are shooting with professional photographers. Thank you, Andrew Michael Phillips of M Cosplay, for working with me, and that you are getting professional photos. So quickly, I want everybody to say what you do, because I know you guys do a lot and I want to get it in. So starting with you, Sky, what do you do for body positivity?
So I'm a photographer. I have Art of Sky Wind, where I have a line of products. Some of my photos are behind me. You can find those on the website. I have a podcast and workshop series called Love Thy Body, where I actually help you become more comfortable in your body and socializing you in that space. I also have a show called Ouija, where people like, everybody on this panel who are artists, who are creatives, you get to see and talk to and learn their journey on that process. And I just launched a game called Hedonism and Debauchery, where you actually get to have conversations and play games and, experiment with different parts of yourself and really get to know people in a different space and debunk some of the things that we have a hard time with in our society. So you can check all that stuff out. You can hit me at Whirlwind Arts on my link tree, and you can find my whole life there.
Okay, Royalty Cosplay.
For me, I'm one of 3 people that makes up Dr. Law's Photo Lab. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, but we typically host large cosplay photo shoots, mostly at Dragon Con and sometimes outside of the con world, but still using cosplay. So for me, I'm more of the creative director. So the thing that I do to try to really, really promote body positivity is when we're doing photo shoots, I really try to get the vibe of the people that we're shooting or the groups that we're shooting, whether it's groups or individuals, I should say. And once I get the vibe and see how comfortable they are, then if they want some instruction on how to maybe pose for their particular costume that they're wearing or character that they're trying to embody, then I'll help them develop those poses to actually generate some pretty awesome photos. So,
nice. Awesome. Dean's List.
All right. First of all, as a cosplayer, I go ahead and cosplay at no matter what weight I am. So I do have some pictures of out there where I'm cosplaying in my heavier size, and then of course in my smaller size. But as a designer, if I'm making a cosplay for someone, I find out what's important to my client. So if they're a client who has no issues with as far as their body type or whatever, and they just want to flaunt what they have, we can go that direction. If they want me to do something that helps conceal their bodies a little bit, we can do that. So, but I make sure the client knows that, it's completely up to them. I want them to feel comfortable in their bodies and their costumes. I want them to be happy with their final product. So it's important that I have those conversations with them.
Okay, thank you. And Ree.
Okay, so for anybody interested in living a healthier lifestyle, I do post full follow-along workouts on my YouTube channel. So we can work out together, essentially. You can look up Superfit with Ree on my YouTube or on Instagram. So anybody that wants to kind of like develop a workout routine, they can do workouts with me and we can work on our bodies together.
I'm gonna have to sign up. All right, and David.
Well, Shadow Images works with Cosplay Your Ways group a lot. So whenever I'm given the opportunity, of course, I will rep Cosplay Your Way to get people to understand, love thyself, enjoy this hobby, and don't let other people dictate the direction you go in. And of course, whenever I have an opportunity to speak like this on different podcasts or pre-recorded events, I do so. And as somebody who fabricates, constructs things for other people to wear, I try to make sure that everybody stays positive about themselves and realistic about where they are right now. And of course, positive change if you want to change, but be happy with you as you are. As long as you're healthy, like I say, and you're waking up every day and you can get through the day without aches and pains and goodness, I'm happy for you. And I will, if you want to make any changes, man, I will direct you to my wife at Superfit with Ree so that she can help you if you want to get smaller.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I mean, when I tell you I love each and every one of you, I'm not just saying that. That's why I brought you all together for this. And
We love you too.
We love you.
And I love what you're doing for the community. I love what you're doing for the community. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us. I'm Barr Foxx. This was the Love the Skin You're In, the Skin I'm In Body Positivity panel. And we hope you enjoyed it. Please go and follow everybody. Follow everyone. All right, let's wave goodbye, everybody.
Yes.
And if you're cosplaying, make sure you have fun. Have fun with whatever you're doing. If you're not having fun,
Cosplay your way.
And
That's what
talk
I'm
Use your
about-
voice.
Express your style.
Until next time.
Cosplay your way.
Bye-bye.